Welcome back to the 6th Gear Garage. This is my 1988 Acura Legend sedan. I just picked up for $350 on eBay. It's been sitting for 10 years and it doesn't start. But when do I ever buy anything that doesn't need work? Just like with the $400 740i and the $330 S-Class, I bought this car sight unseen. As I'm going to pick it up, I don't know if it's something I'm going to be able to save or end up parting out. But once I got to the car and saw it in person, I realized there's no rust on this car, and it's in Ohio. This was the first V6 that Honda offered in the United States. This 2.7 liter only pumped out about 150 horsepower, which doesn't seem like much today, but it was a big deal in its time. The Acura Legend was Honda's flagship premium automobile in the American market. And this is before we had Lexus from Toyota and Infiniti from Nissan. Honda was the first Japanese automaker to enter the US luxury market with this Acura sedan. It came with these Radwood approved Inky EK90 wheels, and although they're actually directional and mounted on the wrong side, if you look inside, there's actually cooling fins to help cool the brakes as the wheels are spinning. So why was this only $350, you ask? Well, we'll get a tour of the car in just a minute and you'll see there's some rough areas, mostly on the interior. But the big problem is that the title's missing. The story is, a lady bought this car in California and moved to Colorado. And then she came out to Ohio. And then she passed away. In order to get the title transferred over, the car would have to go back to Colorado, I guess, and then pass some sort of emissions or inspections. And her son decided that the car wasn't really worth driving it back to the state in which it was registered to get everything transferred over, so the car just sat for about 10 years. It's got some paint fade, the interior is worn from years of sun, it looks like a couple of bobcats got wild in the front seat, but the main problem is the title. Some states are pretty lenient on purchasing a car with no title and then getting a replacement title. Ohio is not one of those states. Basically, if you buy a car in Ohio with no title and just a bill of sale, you are up shit creek with a turd for a paddle. There's really nothing you can do besides a ton of paperwork, and even maybe then you'll get a chance to get a replacement title. And since the original owner has passed away, I don't even have their information. So I'm on my own here. And what I'm gonna do is try and get this car running. If I can get it running, I'm gonna go the Vermont title route. Google Vermont title loophole. And I'll be walking you through that process as soon as I get this thing up and running.
So now let's take a look inside of the Acura Legend and see what happens when you let a car sit for 10 years. Right off the bat, the interior needs a little bit of work. Not sure what happened here. And I see that somebody has been digging around under here inside the dash. Wires hanging here, main relay there. Doesn't look like the factory one to me. Usually they're like a brown color. So that just tells me they've tried all the obvious things to get this car to start. And for some reason, they said it's still not getting fuel. Yeah, that's gonna need to be reupholstered. Got any treasures in the center console? Oh, we do. What we got here? Got some Willie Nelson, Hank Williams Jr., Stevie Wonder, mostly Outlaws, Waylon Willie, David Allen Coe. Man, this guy's mom had some good taste in old country music. Check out that old school tape. Thing's mint. I'll have to pop one of these in when I get it running. Okay, I just noticed this. Look at that. We got a major science experiment happening on the passenger rear floor. That's not good. And the other thing that had me concerned is the front seat is partially unbolted. You can see that one's still loose. And under the seat is the ECU. So I'm wondering if maybe the reason it's not starting is because the ECU saw a little bit too much moisture and maybe they tried to take it out and look at the inside. I don't know, but we'll find out. But this car has about 58,000 miles on it here. So I guess that reflects the condition of the interior, plus it being from out west where they have a lot more sun than we have here in Ohio. But everything else is here. It's all original stereo, which is nice to see. All the storage, a little funky in there. Ashtray, got some storage up here. Ooh, Ooh. Wow. That looks, I don't know if someone left something nasty in there or what. Oh, you know what? That's felt. That's the felt lining. Okay. The dash, you can see that cluster there with 158,000 miles on it. Let's check out the back seat here. There's a box of goodies. We'll look at that in a minute. And this seat is pretty bad too. These are all gonna need reupholstered. Something funky going on that seat there. It's kind of, I just put my hand under here and it's kind of damp, which doesn't surprise me. When I got this car, the interior, it was like a sauna inside, condensation on the inside of the windows, and it had a strong odor when it opened up the door, a lot like my Mercedes did. And there is a leak somewhere coming inside the car. I'm not sure where yet, but I suspect it's somewhere over on the passenger side. Maybe from that, maybe a clogged sunroof drain, don't know. But the interior is complete, which is nice. Let's see what's in the box. All right, we've got the glove box. Got an old school garage door opener. Looks like I've got a box for a relay of some sort. Okay, here's part of the main relay. This is the OEM one. Okay, this is the panel that goes maybe under the driver's side dash. It's got the little courtesy light there, and that's where one of those plugs goes into. There's another one. Okay, there's two other plugs. Something else goes under the dash. Another trim piece. That looks like a seat rail cover. There's the other half of the main relay here, and a lot of times these solder joints will go bad and crack over time, causing the car not to get fuel. Maybe able to save that. Ooh, cassette tape. Stevie Wonder collection. Motown. Nice. There's a piece of trim there. Not sure where that one goes. And some nuts and bolts. Let's go check out the trunk. Got extra center caps for the wheels. Another trim piece. Something. I don't know. I don't think that goes to this car. It looks a lot older. Not sure what that is. If you guys know what this is, let me know in the comments. Jack still in place. Oh, I bet that's the jack cover. Yep. And some floor mats. The original spare. No standing water or rust in the tire well, so that's a plus. See, you don't see things like this anymore. That's a cue from Honda's golden era right there. Here we go. You got a missing trim piece right here. This little guy. It's only about that long. Never been smoked in. That's a plus. What we got down here? This is also a little bit wet. Yeah, there's some moisture down here for sure. Feels damp. All right, let's go underneath and I'll show you how clean this car is. Look at that, hardly any rust. I've got a little bit of the factory undercoating coming off here. Tiny bit of surface rust right there. Yeah, the rest of it is pretty clean. Definitely not an Ohio car. It would be a shame to part this car out. It's so clean underneath. I mean, look at the suspension components. You never see that in Ohio. Here's one more look under the middle of the car, and you can see it's just as clean. No rust at all in the rockers. Okay, I did find one spot of rust right there. Look at the door hinges, everything. Everything is so clean. Up here in the roof, got some paint fade. You can tell this was definitely a West Coast car. Same with the hood. And that's to the point where it's actually down to the base coat. Had a hood brawl most of its life. I think that's the first time I've seen one of those actually do good. Up front, you can see the plastics are definitely faded from years of West Coast sun. Looks like the emblem has faded away here. Yep, this is the 2.7 liter V6 that I know nothing about. It's a very odd looking motor. It has this weird sort of plenum here in the center and these other two like bumps in the valve covers in the front and the back. A whole bundle of vacuum lines. So many vacuum lines. I have no records on the car. I don't know when the timing belt was done. Honda says you should do these about every 70,000 miles. This car has 158,000 miles, so I gotta assume it's been changed at least once. It may be worth pulling this cover off and looking at that just to make sure it's not cracked from age. Well, that's enough for today. Next time, we're gonna see if we can get it running after 10 years of being off the road. Stay tuned.